we feel compelled to at least share some of our feelings about the Cathedral of Notre Dame that burned, I believe, Monday. There have been a lot of different responses to it. One thing that's worth noting off the bat is that the actual damage appears to be less severe than what we were led to believe by the original images that came out as it was happening, so on and so forth. There's a lot to discuss in terms of the response from both moneyed interests, both individual and corporate, as well as just the general response of the public. And then we might discuss the event in terms of its significance culturally in a more grand sense as well. But we're going to start with a short discussion of an article that Michael found. So take us into that.
So from Kotaku today, I found an article about how Ubisoft is actually contributing some money into the pool. What I found interesting about it mostly was that they spent 2 years studying the structure for putting it into the video game, and now it turns out that that research they did might actually be integral to the reconstruction efforts. There was also a laser mapping done by a scholar a couple of years ago that's going to play a vital role, and some other things. But I just thought it was worth noting that despite the prevalence of this thing in history, one of the best sources that we have that has been the best record of it is a video game. I thought that was a little odd. Now they're throwing into this giant pool of money, and it's up to $1 billion. As of a hour ago when I last looked, there are $1 billion being donated to the French government to support the reconstruction of this cathedral, which, by the way, the cathedral is actually owned by the French government. So that fund is all now in the hands of the French government, not the church, thankfully. I think it's pretty screwed up. I think it's I don't know that that's where that money would be best spent, and I think you had some pretty strong feelings on the matter as well. So why don't you pontificate on that?
The first thing that I'll say is that I think this event is a pretty clear unmasking of how stupid our system is for organizing wealth and power. And I think this is a great example of how when people say, well, don't the super rich deserve the money? No, because look, they just do stupid shit. They just do dumb fucking shit. Why would you donate $100 million or more to rebuild one building when the people in Flint, Michigan still have poison water? And many American cities have shit in their streets, and people don't have health care. And the list goes on literally forever of better things that money could be spent on, both in America, in France, in Africa, in any part of the world that you would choose to think of. There are literally a million things that would be better for humanity than reconstructing what is effectively just what's the word, an obelisk, a totem, a symbol, a monolith of this hyper corrupt, rape cultured institution of war and death and misinformation that is the Catholic Church. This is the most recognizable symbol, other than like the Vatican or the direct, the Mary and the cross and those, the actual, symbols of the religion itself. In terms of like architecture, this is one of the things that props up the Catholic Church. It's the most visited place in Paris, and people go there, and it reifies their loyalty to the church. And we see that where the priorities of people lie. People don't care what's happening to pretty much the entire South American continent as a result of our policies. People don't care what's happening in India or in anywhere having to do with the Middle East. Nobody cares about the loss of life there, or the structures, the policy choices, the climate change realities that are making people suffer. But if one church burns down where 0 people die, and it's a building that no one needs, it doesn't house people, or it's not a center where anything is decided or done that benefits the poor or anybody else. It's merely a building. And we can drum up $1 billion many, many, many times more the value of the building itself, and many, many times the value of the work and labor and so on and so forth that would be required to reconstruct it. We can come up with more than $1 billion for that dumb bullshit in less than 3 days. But we still have all of these other crises that no one can afford to spend a dime on. It's exactly the same issue. This is why when I say I want Medicare for all or free college, and conservatives say, well, we can't afford that. Bullshit. Bullshit. Look how much money that you fuckers can come up with in 5 seconds when stupid fucking Jesus House burns. Who cares? I'm not glad that it burned. It was a beautiful piece of architecture. But I would, if the choices are, we spend $1 billion nebulously on this church, or we spend $1 billion on any other humanitarian effort, I would choose the latter every time. And the fact that we don't make that choice proactively and preemptively is an example of why the mega rich do not deserve their money, and the corporations do not deserve that money. They are not good stewards of that power.